People say, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to get healthy, I want to be successful, I want to do all of these things, but then we see them not taking the simple steps to actually make that possible. When you begin to understand what you are without trying to change it, then what you are undergoes a transformation. Don't seek to just disregard everything that you've been through and what's got you here where you are now, but instead try to understand it. Try to understand who you are as opposed to trying to just be different. Nothing is going to stand in your way. You're going to live the life that you want to live. You're going to do what you want to do in the world. You can have any experience, like the thing that really lights you up, that brings you joy, that brings you passion. What is that? We're told that you should, go to school every day and get good grades so you can get into a good college, and we're expected to get that great job. And we become so busy trying to be who they say we should be that we forget who we are.
They have this desire on their heart. They want to pursue something for themselves, and they're too afraid of what other people will think. None of us can step forward into who we're called to be because we're too worried about what you think of us. When you are dealing with something hard, you will ignore problems and issues and whatever until it starts to affect your performance. For a very long time, did what a lot of people do, which is like, I'm going to throw myself into work and just ignore this pain and all this stuff that's over here. When you have an idea to write a book or build a company or do the thing, and you open it up for discussion, you give other people the ability to take the wind out of your sails. And the problem is, people don't, they're like, well, I can't because, or here's the reason why. And I'm like, yeah, me too. I had all those excuses. And it didn't mean that making the decision to move forward, suddenly it got easier. If anything, making the decision to move forward is harder. Movement causes friction, always. If you have a passion in your heart, fire in your belly, it's gonna be you. It's gonna be you getting up early. It's gonna be you staying up late. It's gonna be you running the miles and going to the gym and eating the kale and doing all the crap that you don't, it's only gonna be you, because outside motivation can only last for so long. You can hire the greatest trainer in the world. You can have the greatest cheerleader. I could have you run beside me and yell out inspirational sayings, but ultimately it's on me. When you step into what you're called to, now you've given other people the opportunity to step into the fullness of what they're capable of. You are celebrated in the light for what you do in the dark. Like what you do before anyone else is awake, what you do when no one is looking, that's what you're celebrated for. And nobody else can force you to do that. That's going to be on you. The idea that you are in control of what happens next because you are in control of yourself. You cannot control the world around you or how people will act, but you can control how you show up today, the intentionality that you bring to this earth, and what you do next.
In life, we're going to have good problems. It's just, are your problems first world problems or third world problems? I used to have third world problems. No money, no opportunity, no hope. First world problems are the Federal Trade Commission is auditing you because your franchise is growing so quickly. So environmental exposure is the #1 teacher to turning people into fighter jets. It's not a light switch, it's a dimmer switch that goes up over here. See, I thought I was an entrepreneur. I wasn't. I was a business owner. And I realized in that moment, as I was going through this, that my employees are showing up a little late, they're leaving a little early, they're kind of doing the bare minimum, and I didn't know how to give them feedback. And looking back, it was because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I cared about their approval, how they felt about me. And because of that, I wouldn't give them feedback, but something would happen. I would start feeling animosity towards them. Before you know it, that kind of turns into this adversarial tension that was between me and some of my employees and me and my business partner, who I felt he should be doing this, but instead he was doing X. But I never gave him feedback, yet I was passive aggressive, right? And so when you're passive aggressive towards people, you're afraid to give feedback, you don't know how to communicate to a team, and you don't have clarity of vision. And I realized I don't have any clarity here, like mental focus. I was a poor leader. I got to the point, in fact, where I was avoiding coming to my office because I didn't want to see my business partner and my employees because I felt it was them against me. Very quickly, I realized that when you say it's time to man up, it really is stop making excuses, take control of your situation, and rise to your potential. But for this to happen, I had to become an effective leader. I had to get self-disciplined first, stop being a hypocrite. I had to learn to communicate and give feedback and not feel like I need their approval or they're going to accept it as criticism. I had to have clarity of vision, think, process, and respond. Now I was an entrepreneur. I was no longer a business owner. I was an entrepreneur. Like, if competition shows up, I have to out-service them, outwork them, out-social media them, versus shrivel up and die, right? So the scarcity-minded person is always the sky is falling, the Chicken Little mentality, always looking for the easiest path, the loophole, that hits the snooze button every day because they'd rather take 10 more minutes of mediocre sleep than getting up and dominating their path. Or you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to build your business, turn your idea into a dream and help people. You're gonna come across adversity, challenges, setbacks, and you gotta have a reason why, and most people who succeed ultimately have a strong reason why. And I realized the value of giving, and the more I give, the more I'll get back. And then understanding the value of service, being a servant leader, and use it for good. And I figured at that point that if I used it for good, good things would happen.